Good evening, and welcome to the Night Owl. Happy June. If you are new to the Bird Brain podcast, this is the other side of the Bird Brain podcast. So if you're used to the mental health, the encouragement, the words to live by, this is not that. This is the other side of the podcast where the things that go bump in the night, well, they have room to roam. Okay, and I must warn you that content may contain adult language and scenarios that may not always be suitable for all audience members, so listeners' discretion is advised. They say home is the safest place that we have, and home can be anywhere you are. But sometimes the things that take up space in our home may not always be welcome guests. Lock your doors, check your windows, and get comfortable because you won't be sleeping tonight. I give you housekeeping. There's a ghost in my house. I'd been seeing my therapist for 3 years, up until that moment. There's a ghost in my house, I said. What do you mean? I hear things at night. I hear things during the day, all the time. Safe to say my therapist didn't believe me. There was a reason for that. I had a tendency to deflect and make jokes about very serious situations throughout our time working together. I guess they were having a bad day because my therapist simply said, "You know what? I think our working relationship has reached its end." I'll admit, in every situation I brought to the table, I was always the victim, and I also suffered from this insane amount of paranoia. No pun intended. Maybe this finally struck a chord. Maybe it was a bad day. Maybe we did reach our end. But this time I wasn't kidding. I think there's someone in my house. I hear weird things around the house. When I'm in the shower, I feel like someone's watching me. Do I watch a lot of horror movies? Yes, but I'm not so far removed from reality that I can't tell the difference. Am I? The other night I'd been sitting on my couch, binge watching TV since it was a Friday night, and all of my date plans fell through. And I felt like someone was watching me just out of my peripheral. I'd been too scared to turn around and check, so I let it go on for a while until I couldn't. I paused the TV and whipped around as fast as I could just to get it over with. It's the same energy you'd have if you just turned out the lights in the basement and you'd haul ass upstairs. I didn't know what I expected to see, but I had hoped to see nothing. And I got my wish. I'm lying. A part of me wanted to see something. A part of me wanted something to be there, just so I knew I wasn't crazy. The house fell silent. I wasn't sure what to do next, so I slowly settled back into my seat. I turned on the TV and continued watching. I didn't realize I'd fallen asleep. I woke up to the TV blank, and that's when I saw it. I wasn't fucking crazy. There was someone in my house. Oh, hey. It's my brother. You alright? Look like you've seen a ghost. Funny you say that. I forgot my brother said he'd be coming to visit for the weekend. Our relationship is kind of like a houseplant. We exist. There's a periodic feeding, but that's the extent of it. I wish I had a different connection. Maybe I'd be able to tell him about this stuff, but that's not going to happen, so I just let him roam until he disappeared into the back of the house. I folded my blanket as I always do, fluffed the pillows on the couch, and went for a walk. The night was brisk, but good enough. I slept enough on the couch so I wasn't ready for bed. The breeze on my face felt necessary. Felt like I was feeling something. I don't know why now, but this walk was bringing up so many conversations from my relationships. You don't seem like you're there. You seem occupied with other things. I don't feel like you see me. I don't feel valued. I don't feel like I'm enough. Those were the constant feedback loops I existed in with all of my significant others. For the life of me, I can never figure out what I was doing wrong. Or how I was doing things wrong. I texted my therapist to see if there was any possibility of me getting a session with him. There was no answer. Once again, I lost track of time. So I started to head back home. I got to my house and I could see my brother roaming in the kitchen. So I just texted him to let me in. It felt like forever I was out there, but he finally texted me back. Hey, I went out for a moment. I told you when you were in the kitchen. And that's when my therapist texted me back. And I texted back as I got closer to my door. And that's when I heard a phone chime from inside the house. But that chime didn't belong to my brother. So there you have it. Stay tuned for another story to keep you up at night. And in the meantime, if you like what you're listening to on this podcast, head on over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and leave a rating or review. Let the world know what you like about this podcast. It helps. It goes a long way. And it allows other ears to listen and get scared just as much as you do. Also, if you are a filmmaker or a storyteller, submit to the Newark Film Festival. The deadline is coming up, June 30th. Hey, show the world what you got. The link will be in the description of this episode. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and sleep tight.